Hello there. Merry Christmas and welcome to our Nativity Devotionals. I am Jim Devore, the pastor at Cornerstone Church of Littlerock. So glad to have you with us and sharing our Nativity Devotionals with you. We are taking a look at the story of the birth of Jesus. And as we do that, we are sharing with you pictures that church folks have sent in order to share their own nativities that they have up around their house, to sometimes their Christmas decorations. Sometimes they are paintings they've actually done themselves, and in many different offerings, they've brought them into us. So we are now sharing them with you. That's our goal, and that's our heart. And so we are excited to be able to do that with you. As we go through these devotionals, we are going to try to do it chronologically. In other words, in the order of events of the Nativity story. So we're going to be using the book of Luke and the book of Matthew in our time. Our main goal, our main desire is to treasure these things up in our heart, just as Mary did. Our theme verse is Luke chapter 2, verse 19. But Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. So we are in Luke chapter 1, verse 34. Luke chapter 1, verse 34. We are with Mary, and she is being visited by an angel. My guess is Mary was probably not a blonde-haired young lady, but in any case, this is a good representation of the angel and Mary. And for that matter, we know the angel isn't a girl because it's Gabriel. So lots of times our Christmas decorations tend to give us a different look on events, but we do have the visitation of the angel with Mary. So let's go ahead and take a look at our passage for today. We are in Luke chapter 1, verse 34 through 37. And Mary said to the angel, "How will this be, since I am a virgin?" And the angel answered her, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. Therefore, the child to be born will be called Holy, the Son of God. And behold, your relative Elizabeth, in her old age, has also conceived a son. And this is the 6th month with her who was called barren. For nothing will be impossible with God." Now, let's just take a quick look at Mary's question to the angel. How will this be, since I am a virgin? In verse 31, Gabriel tells her, "And behold, you will conceive in your womb and bear a son, and you will call his name Jesus." And so we know that Mary is responding to the angel's statement. Well, how will this be, since I am a virgin? Mary has full understanding at this point that she has not slept with a man, so there's no way that she can, in a natural sense, conceive a child. So her concern is, how's this going to happen? I don't understand the process. And Gabriel says to her, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you." And so it's all going to be just a miraculous intervention of God. No actual physical intercourse between her and God, but it's more of the miraculous implanting of the Holy Spirit, implanting Jesus, the Son of God, into her womb, and then Mary providing man, Mary providing the seed of the man in her womb, and that's exactly how it happens. That's why we know that Jesus is 100% God and 100% man. He's 100% God because he is conceived through the power of the Most High, okay, with the Holy Spirit coming upon her. He's 100% man because the seed of the woman, comes from the seed of the woman. Just a quick side note, the reason you can't have man involved is because the Bible traces that sin is brought through the man's line and not through the woman. So even though Eve is put on the spot for being the first one to sin, we know that Adam willfully, knowing better, wasn't deceived, but willfully made the decision to follow his wife into sin. And so therefore, because of his willful disobedience, the Bible from there on out blames Adam and man for the passing on of sin from one generation to the other. So you can't have Joseph involved in the process of the conception where sin is going to get passed down to Jesus. And so instead we have God the Father, okay, implanting Jesus in the womb of Mary, and then she provides the seed, and then we have the fully man and fully God. Behold, and so that's from verse 35, and the angel answered, the Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. Therefore, the child to be born will be called Holy, the Son of God. And behold, your relative Elizabeth in her old age has conceived a son, and this is the 6th month with her who was called barren. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, The Nativity, but I love the line in The Nativity where when Mary shares with her parents, so Mary disappears and goes to visit Elizabeth, and we're going to share that in the next couple of days. She comes back, and now by the time she comes back, she's very obviously pregnant. So now the parents know she's pregnant, and Joseph knows she's pregnant. We'll get to Joseph's response later on in our devotionals. But in the movie, The Nativity, the parents say, how could this have happened? And Mary says, well, the child is of God. And the father's like, you can't say that. You can't just say the child is of God. And Mary says, well, Elizabeth is pregnant, to which the father of Mary replies, Elizabeth has a husband. Okay, so Elizabeth's birth is not as miraculous as Mary's because Elizabeth has a husband, okay? But it still has its shade of miraculous because she is an older woman, and she and Zechariah are both beyond the age to bear children, similar to the Sarah and Abraham story. And so the miracle is that she's able to conceive, but the issue is that it was done by natural cause. Mary's conception is done by supernatural cause. And so that's why we get to verse 37, for nothing will be impossible with God. And that's the real answer to this. You can try to figure this out to the nth detail and try to figure out exactly what happened. But really what you need to know is that God caused Mary through the Holy Spirit to conceive and implanted the Son of God, Jesus, within her womb as a little tiny embryo, bringing along the seed of Mary to represent 100% man, 100% God. How can that possibly happen? He's not a 200% abnormal creation, okay? Here's how it can happen. Not by you figuring it out, not by you coming up with all the details, not by you having every little picture understood. Verse 37, by you and I understanding that nothing is impossible with God. Can you just rest in that? Can you just let go of your desire to have complete understanding of everything and rest in the fact that nothing is impossible with God? It's a lot easier to ponder the things of God in your heart, to treasure the things of God in your heart, if you can agree that nothing is impossible with God. Maybe in your own life, you just need to back up and acknowledge that. Maybe you need to tell God, God, I'm done trying to figure you out to the nth degree. I'm just going to acknowledge that nothing is impossible with you. Thank you for what you can do. Thank you for what you will do. Thank you for what you do. I am not going to insist upon you operating in my understanding and my manner. I always think to myself, I don't want to understand God because my brain is so small and minute that if I can understand God, that's a scary thought. I want God to be greater than me. You want God to be greater than you. You want the impossible to come not from your understanding, but from the God of the impossible. So let's remember that. Let's just do what Mary does and treasure up these things and ponder them in her heart. By the way, tomorrow we're going to come back with kind of the end of the encounter of Mary and the angel. And we're going to share all of the previous angel and Mary pictures and nativity scenes that we've shared up to this point this week. You'll just see them in kind of a little quicker fashion. So be sure to join us tomorrow as we come back to continue the Nativity Devotionals and wrapping up just this encounter between Mary and the angel. Then we're going to move on as it chronologically takes us on to the rest of the story. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, I'm Jim Devore, the pastor of Cornerstone Church of Littlerock. So pleased to have you with us as we share these Nativity Devotionals. God bless you.